What is up, YouTube? I have an awesome helmet here. This is a Flash Hydra mashup helmet from Mystery Maker's Patreon, and this is just absolutely amazing. I 3D printed this and I finished it myself, and I'm going to show you guys how I did that. Now, before we get started, like I said, this awesome model is from Mystery Makers. Marco over at Mystery Makers is an awesome, incredible artist. This is one of his latest and greatest models, and it was super easy to print. I actually just printed this all in one shot, and then I printed these emblems in resin print. Altogether, the printing time with the resin and the FDM was only like 18 hours, like all together with everything being done. In fact, it might have even been shorter, but we'll get into the settings so I can actually show you exactly how long it took. And what's really cool is in this video, I'm going to show you everything from printing it to how I got it to be smooth and how I did the paint. So without further ado, let's get started. Now, I need to apologize. I lost the footage where I showed you guys how I sliced this. I'm going to mention this later, but definitely go check out Saturday Morning Props. He has an awesome video on how to scale helmets really well. I'll have that video linked below, but this is the K2 Plus combo. I have 5 of these printers. I absolutely love them. They can hold the build volume, and as you can see, it is printing super quick. The quality is absolutely amazing. I seriously cannot get enough of this printer, so it's going to finish up here really shortly, and we're going to see more about how we're going to post-process this thing. All right, so in just about 24 hours, we have this helmet part done. Now, this just did the base helmet again. It didn't do the Hydra logo or anything like that, but let's get this off the build plate and let's see what it looks like. So I'm really proud of my support settings because I feel like I've nailed them. I'm going to have a video linked below of my support settings video because a lot of people always ask me about it. As you can see here, it's literally just falling. Look at this. It's just peeling off. So let's get these supports off and see how it goes. So, oh yeah, nothing. Got this complex one up in here, but this should still be pretty, oh, butter. Look at that. Look how clean that came off. Look how good that looks inside there. Hopefully you guys can see. Actually, I don't really know, but we'll work on the lighting here later. Got stuff here. Now, if I did everything right in my slicer, which again, thank you so much to Saturday Morning Props for the video on how to size your helmet correctly, and I'll have that video linked below as well. It's a little bit older video, but it still applies, especially if you don't have like specialty software to like figure all that out for you. It's a really good video, and I guess we're gonna see how well I follow the video once I try to put this on. So look at these, even down here where it should be kind of hard. No, good stuff. Literally just peeling off and going. Oh yeah. Now, the reason I care about my support settings, even though we're still going to finish this with like sanding and stuff, is because I want to make my life as easy as humanly possible. And there it is. So you can see kind of how everything came off. It came off like really, really well. Actually, I'm really impressed with this. So the moment of truth. Now I have a big head, so let's see if I, oh wait. Oh. I did it. This is amazing. It fits perfect. I mean, there's like exactly enough room for padding. This is, oh my gosh. I did amazing. Look at this. Oh, this is great. Now I think one of the, oh, my ears. I didn't think about my ears. Yeah. One of the cool things about all of Marco's projects over at Mystery Makers is, I'm pretty sure, I need to verify this with them, but I'm pretty sure they're all scaled like the same way. So once you know your scaling for his helmets, you can just plug that in from then on and it'll always fit the same, which is really, really cool. I think that's very unique to something like him or somebody like him, but oh, this is awesome. Okay, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna finish. We're gonna go ahead and get into making the emblem. And then we're going to get into the process of post-processing this. The way I really like to do it is to mix some baby powder with some resin and to paint it over top, cure it, and then that keeps all of the details, and then we'll be able to sand that and then get some filler primer, and we'll go from there. But that's that so far. So this is really exciting. So I just want to take another moment to tell you guys more about the Mystery Makers Patreon. What's really cool is if you use my link and my code down below, you're actually going to get a discounted rate for the Patreon. Now, what's really, really unique about Marco's Patreon, and I know there's some other people who do this, but if you get the year of Marco's Patreon for Mystery Makers, you get access to all the files that he has ever produced. Unlike the month to month, where the month you join is where you get those files, and then you get files from then on out. And that's fine, and it's cool for a lot of people, but if you want to get access to his amazing library, like this Deadpool helmet that I'm printing right now, I got this because I joined the year mark, and this was a past build that I wouldn't have gotten otherwise. So head on over to the Mystery Makers Patreon, join today. You guys are not going to regret it, especially if you're into the cosplay world of everything. But let's get back into the video about the Hydra mask. So I went ahead and put the import slices for the symbols into my resin slicer Chidu box, and I have the 2 earpieces and then the main emblem piece. And I'm actually going to go ahead and put this into the resin printer with this awesome heavy metal resin from Benski. It has a lot of cool silver like mica powder, and it's this very awesome red, and I think it's going to look really cool with the helmet. Now, in case you guys don't already know, a lot of the reason I will use resin for finishing prints like this, and I think a lot of the reason a lot of other people do, is because it's the way to get extremely high detail in things that have like high detail, like emblems and stuff like that, without having to do any of the finishing work. Because once this is done, all I'm really going to do is maybe spot wet sand it in some places and then put a clear coat over it, and then it'll be done. So that's going to take about 7 hours to do, which is totally fine because I still have a long process to go with everything else with the Hydra helmet, like getting it prepped and ready. But let's go over to that, and I'll show you how I do my resin prepping and sanding and prepping and sanding and primer and sanding and all that fun stuff so we can get an awesome looking helmet. Okay, so we finally have the emblems done. This is after cured. Now, I haven't sanded these or anything. And like I said, this is where the supports were. I'm not gonna sand this because I'm gonna sand it, but I'm not gonna care about it being looking good because it's gonna get glued in there anyways. But yeah, this is why the Santinsky is so cool. Like you can see here where it's like really red and glittery, but then you like get this darker sheen and even a black sheen. Like it is a really cool resin. And if we actually spray it with some alcohol, you can kind of see exactly how like shiny it'll get, which is just like, oh yeah, look at that. That's going to look really good with like a 2K clear coat on it. I anticipate it being even more shiny. Like, yeah, look how red. Oh, that's going to look so good. So we're going to get these wet sanded on the top surface, make sure it gets all smooth, and then we're going to do a 2K clear coat. I actually might do the 2K later. Like I might put these in the helmet and then do the 2K for the whole helmet, because the helmet's going to be black and red also, and so that might be just the best option for that. Also, real quick pro tip, don't cure resin on your desk because then it'll just put a towel down. Don't be an idiot like me. Okay, so here we have a mixture of just standard resin and some baby powder. That's really just to make it more like, or less viscous, I guess, just so it's going to be easier. What we're going to do is we're going to brush it on here, and then we're going to hit it with a UV light to cure it really quickly, and that way it helps it so that it gives me a more even surface to be able to sand later. What's nice is like I'm not going to worry about a lot of the stuff in here again because I'm going to glue the emblems in here. These aren't the ones we're using, but just, you know, as an example, we're going to glue these in here. So I don't really have to worry about the surface here as much as I'm going to have to worry about the surface here, because once these are coated and cured, then we'll be able to sand them down. So I'll give you a little time lapse of this, and yeah, we'll just see how it goes. All right, so now we're going to get into the like finishing stages of this. I am taking a disc sander and I'm going to be sanding all of the resin down to a smooth surface. Again, the reason that I use the resin as a base is because it's actually a lot easier to sand resin flat than it is the PLA with all the different like ridges and layer lines. And so again, the resin fills in the gaps and gives it a mostly smooth surface, or at the very least a more even surface than PLA has in the beginning.
And so I'm just doing it. I'll be honest, I got really tired, and so I sat down. It also just gives me like better leverage, or I'm just lazy. I don't really know which one it is, but this is just a lot of the sanding process. You guys got to know before you get into this kind of stuff that there is always going to be a lot of sanding, and it's like completely like just I don't know. It is pretty insane, but at the same time, like it's work that pays off. It's something that I really love doing, and you can see here like it's super smooth. There's a couple lines where you can see where like the different layers are. Now, this is my new favorite trick. I can't remember who I saw this from. It was like a video in passing, but this is actually a foot sander, and like quite literally a real foot sander, like for calluses. And the little pad on there is actually just the pad that it comes with. This was like $20 off Amazon. It had variable speed, but the reason I like this is because I can use it to get the flat surfaces that are smaller that the like big disc sander would have a problem doing. And you can see right here, it like literally just fits perfectly. It can get right in those eye holes perfectly. I seriously, if I remember who did this, I'm gonna put it in the comments down below. I wish I could remember who I saw this from. Again, it was like in passing on TikTok, but it is the greatest thing ever. A foot, and I know some people are like, "Oh, just get a Dremel." No, this is way better, and it's $20. And it comes with like literally, I think 100 pads. So this is gonna go really far. I didn't even use all the pads on this, but you guys can really see that the detail really pops out with all of this, and it's just absolutely amazing. I can get into these small spots that would just normally be really hard, or I'll be honest, stuff that I have to like hand sand. And there's going to be hand sanding down the line, but this helps get all of that down faster. Here we're going to be putting on a super high build filler primer. This is actually an extreme high build. This is for automotive repair. It is something, it's kind of expensive, I'm not gonna lie to you guys, but this fills gaps I think up to a millimeter, so it is pretty insane. And then yeah, we're back to some more sanding. Now we wet sand this at like 400 and 600 grit. I'm gonna go ahead and speed all of this up because you guys don't need to sit here and watch all of this. But again, if you want to get into this kind of stuff, you guys want to get into cosplay, you guys want to get into this part of 3D printing seriously, you're going to have to sand. Like, it's just part of it. But I can also tell you that I probably only spent probably a total of maybe 2 hours sanding, like all together. And that's while I was doing other projects. Like, you guys can see a little bit, there's other projects in the background, but yeah, it honestly only took about 2 hours, and that's to me not a bad deal, especially when you see the end results of what all this happened. It's really worth it, but you do have to get over the fact that you're going to sand as long as you want your projects to look really good. So I somehow lost the footage of me coating this black, but we just used like a normal black paint, flat back paint, and yeah, nothing pretty crazy there. And we just do that and get it all coated, and then we're gonna go ahead and do some more wet sanding. Again, this is going to smooth it out, but it's also going to show us like where the high and low spots are with like the primer, and totally fine. Like, that's what you want to see. You want to know where those spots are and where they're not. That way you can move on to getting more black paint on there, getting an even coat, so that way you don't have to worry about seeing layer lines or any of those other things like that. And then we're going to go ahead and we're going to move on to the next part because I feel comfortable with where everything's at. And we're going to get into masking off the eye portion, because the eye portion is going to be red, and we'll see what that looks like here now. So I'm masking everything off. Again, I just want to make sure that everything is like, I don't want overspray to happen. I don't need to make more work for myself. And so we're just making sure that there's enough coverage that the black paint's not going to get affected, but also that everything is masked off so that we can just paint everything red, because we're going to start out with painting a white base coat over top of that, mainly because I want the red to really pop. And I'm going to tell you right now, I think it was Adam Savage from Mythbusters that had said that like masking off projects is really great because the reward for when you get to remove the masking, and I can honestly say that's 100% true. It is seriously one of the coolest things to be able to take the time to mask a project off, and then you like do this cool reveal when it's all done. But you guys can see like I'm taking a lot of time and care into trying to make sure that I have everything masked off properly. Again, I don't want the overspray. I don't want to make more work for myself down the road. And what's nice about this particular helmet is there's a lot of like straight lines, right angles, all of that stuff. So I don't have to worry too much about what I am and am not masking off. And so, yeah, let's look at what that looks like when it's all done. Okay, so it's all masked off. Like I said, we got that white base coat. Now I'm using this metal cast red. The reason I use this is because it acts a lot like a candy paint. The more you layer it on, the more pronounced the color is going to get. And I want this eye part to kind of stand out. You're going to see later that I'm going to add a glitter effect spray paint to this whole thing because I really want this part to kind of be the part that grabs everybody's attention, and then you can look closer and see everything, and you can see how well that's starting to really look here. It is just such a good red color, and again, the more you layer on, the more vibrant that color gets. And so we come inside. This is the glitter effect. Again, all the stuff it's gonna be linked down below. I'm gonna have it on. I think you get everything on Amazon. I don't think I got anything not on Amazon. It got really dark, so I had to come inside of my garage, which was a mess. So I apologize for that. But we're just gonna go ahead and put the glitter effect all over this, and you're gonna see kind of how well it helps make everything pop. I mean, you could just see all of that metal fleck in there, and it looks so good. And I feel like the camera doesn't even do it justice. We're going to speed this up. This is just me taking off all of the tape to reveal everything. There was a little bit of residue, but we got that off, honestly, just by spraying it down with some alcohol and a microfiber towel. And then we're going to go into clear coating. We are going to clear coat the emblems separately, but then we're going to put it all together, and you guys are going to be able to see the big reveal. There was a little bit of a mishap down there. I wish I could have figured out how to do it better because there was really no way to fix it. And there was a little bit up here on the nose piece too, but honestly, nothing that I think most people would think it's great. It's what I see because I work on it. So we're using, again, Rust-Oleum Automotive. It's a 2x thing. Clear coat. My box fan's on, and it's a little tent inside of my garage, so it's really nice. I know everyone make sure you wear proper ventilation. I did not wear my mask. I didn't know where it was. It's a stupid excuse. Don't worry about it. Don't ever do that. Don't try that at home. Make sure you're wearing the proper respiratory gear because it is very important. The reason I wasn't wearing it outside was because I was outside. It was a half windy day, so it felt safe enough to do that. Here, I should have done it because I am in my painting tent, but I didn't. But we're getting a bunch of coats on. I'm only showing you 2 coats here, but I think we did 4 or 5 coats of this. And yeah, it dries pretty quickly in between. This is actually the final coat, and you guys can see how much more glossy this is coming out. I mean, it is just absolutely insane how shiny this got. I mean, being able to see myself in it is just such a big deal to me. And then we're going to move over to the emblems, and you're going to see, again, my suspicion was correct on how much those really popped out because it was just insane. And there you guys have it. This came out absolutely beautifully. We super glued the emblems in there. That resin and Benski was perfect. This is absolutely amazing.
So here we have it. It came out, I mean, just like absolutely phenomenally. The finish is great. I really love that I did go with this like glittery, sparkly red for that. And then, yeah, those emblems they just pop. So this is awesome. Again, this file came over from Mystery Maker's Patreon. Now, if you guys aren't subscribed to Mystery Maker's Patreon, make sure you click the link below. I'm going to have a code down there so that you guys can get a deal on subscribing to Mystery Maker's Patreon. And what's really cool about Marco's Patreon is that if you sign up for a year, you get access to all of his files that he's ever done, which is just super awesome. So you don't have to worry about signing up and missing out on stuff like this, because you can sign up for the year and then have everything ready to go. Anyways, guys, I'm basically Benski. If this is the kind of stuff you guys like to see, the tutorials or the cosplay, make sure you leave a comment down below. And if there's a cosplay that you want to see, if there's a helmet that you want to see, leave that comment down below. And the one that gets the most comments, I'm going to do next. All right, guys, I'm basically Benski, and never forget,